You are very inappropriate.
I like being inappropriate.
BROADScast is entertaining.
Come on, if I can't mess with you, this is not going to be fun.
BROADScast is thought-provoking.
That is a riveting revelation, Ms. Goldman.
BROADScast is unexpected.
Who do you like better, the person that people think you are or the actual you?
Oh, God.
Because they're nothing alike.
Broad topics, broad minds, broad hosts, but not just for broads.
We are man-friendly.
I hope to be.
I am man-friendly. I can't say the same about Kim. Wait, that sounded bad.
This is BROADScast with Kim Goldman and Jackie McDougal.
Welcome to BROADScast. I want to sound like voiceover guy. Andrew Bowen, thank you for that cute little intro.
Oh, I lost my...
Welcome, Kim.
Hello, Jig.
He's so brooding and sexy.
Yeah. And scene. Yeah, our cackle. I think we need to work on the cackle.
We need to delete or evolve the cackle.
Evolve the cackle?
Sometimes I listen to our show and I'm like, oh, who taught those women how to laugh? No, I'm just kidding. Nobody did.
Those are authentic laughs.
Those are authentic.
Those were our authentic selves. Mm-hmm.
We are just authenticity at its finest. How are you?
I'm good. I know this is going to sound stupid. I have had a twitch in my eye that it's going again. So I feel like the whole world.
Is that like a twinkle?
Not necessarily.
I think you're dehydrated. I swear I get a twitch in my eye when I'm dehydrated.
So I went to whatthehexwrongwithme.com and found that the twitch in the under eye, like the under, whatever this is called, the under area, the undercarriage of my eye.
The undercarriage.
And it says lack of sleep, vitamin deficient, and dehydrated, and then a couple other things. But I take vitamins, I drink water, and I don't sleep, but I'm trying to get more sleep. But seriously, it is so annoying that I'm talking that like I feel like my whole eye is moving, but it's like it's doing it right now.
We should do an entire show talking about things that our audience can't see.
I know, sorry, but it's very distracting for me. But I'm
You're beautiful.
No, but I'm just saying, like it is interesting to me how many things are affected in your body when you are not taking care of other parts of you. Like,
right?
Anyway, I'm just saying. So
that's absolutely right. It's funny because we actually, couple things here. We are going to have the lovely Jenna McCarthy on the show today. Jenna. And she loves to talk about things like this and summer and end of school year and how am I going from where you said to this? Because I have crazy plans for like self-care and family domination over the summer, and you just kind of brought that into my head.
I don't. I was just acknowledging that it is the end of the school year. I'm tired. I'm dehydrated and I'm vitamin deficient, apparently, and my eyes are twitching, and I just want the school year to be over because I'm so tired of making lunch.
I could cure cancer if I didn't have to make lunch.
Oh my God, the lunch.
Yeah. Well, let's get Jenna on the line and talk about all this with her. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we've got her, babe. Babe.
Did you just call me babe?
I called you babe.
Better than calling me
Jenna
dude.
McCarthy, oh my gosh, her bio alone is like 3 episodes. She's an internationally published writer, keynote speaker, former radio DJ, author of a ton of books, many of which I have read. She was even in like the Chicken Soup series. She's just funny as all get up. JennaMcCarthy.com is her website. Jenna, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jenna.
I'm so happy to be here.
So you have to admit something to the world. What are you missing right now? What are you doing right now?
Oh my God! Wait, bubble. What was that? That was the sound of the fucking bus that just ran me over. I am watching silently my daughter perform in her spring sing on a live Facebook feed. Yeah, I'm missing this school show. I'm missing this school sing.
Oh my gosh. And we even moved our time so you could go to it.
Yeah, well, these things do not happen quickly or on time in the elementary school. You guys know how the last
oh my
God.
Literally like this. First of all, it's spring sing. It's fucking summer already, so we miss spring. That used to be like a nighttime thing, and you'd get 16 different notices sent home on the colored paper. We're like, dude, you sent it via email. We get it. Spring sing. They emailed a mass email on Wednesday. Spring Sing is Friday morning. We're like, fuck.
How do you really feel?
I feel the fuck.
You know, it's funny. My son is not even graduating. He's ending his 8th grade year, and we have no information about what's happening. Like, hey, do they do a graduation? We have nothing. I got like something in the mail last week that there's this big award ceremony next week. I mean, there's nothing. I'm like, I think everybody's kind of checked out. Everybody's just done. It's hilarious.
I always called the last month of school, the quote, "We are so done teaching your kids." Like, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. We're like, you know, like the lunches suck. Everything just sucked. They're not doing anything. My kids come home. I'm like, what'd you do today? They're like, oh, well, we watched a movie. We don't have any more specialists. So we don't have art. We don't have PE. We did Big Buddies and we all walked around the garden. Like
my son is turning in his books on Monday. I'm like, dude, you don't get out until June 2nd. So his books are turned in. Yeah, he's done. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny
That's
because
8th grade?
Yeah, he's 8th grade.
Let me go back a couple weeks too. That, you know, teacher appreciation. Who's the dipwad that put it, you know, in May? Yeah. Like, why would you not have done that? I don't know. February would be a good time, or like,
right.
You know,
since we're gonna have to do like teacher gifts 5 minutes later, you're like, shit, I already shot that wad.
I mean, I get it that you don't want to necessarily do it at the beginning of the year because we don't know
if we appreciate you yet.
Yeah. We're reserving the right to hold our appreciation, but you know, after Christmas, like maybe before spring break, we're feeling kind of generous. But then you throw it in May. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm barely like. I'm going to the store. I'm buying more prepackaged things for lunches because I'm like, oh, you know.
Well, the good news when you graduate to the junior high situation in high school, you don't have to do that anymore.
I don't have
pack
to
lunches.
Well, you can. Well, my son refuses to eat the crappy stuff at school, so I still have to pack lunches. But we don't do teacher appreciation. We don't do these things we don't do that.
Yeah.
No, you're on your own. If you like your teacher, you give them a high five.
I still have 2 more years of elementary school next year and the year after.
Yeah, no more decorating doors. That's for sister. You're doing the door. Your door. Yeah.
So what is that? Wait, what's decorating a door? I don't decorate doors.
Oh my! You never did that in elementary school. Well, I was the parent, the room mom, and so during Teacher Appreciation Week, we decorated all the doors for the teachers, like with things from the kids, and they put their face on there. We had to come up with like you're the shiningest star in the sky, and then we had to put all the stars on the door, and you had to come up with all these different. I mean, it was horrible. Yeah. And then you had the parents that were like the one-uppers, and so they had the 3D things coming off the door. Candy. I was like the face on the popsicle stick. And stuck it on the door. And now I will tell you that the first year I did that, it was kindergarten, and the faces on the stick was in a precarious position on the boys, and so our door got put into the curriculum for the parent appreciation or teacher appreciation week. Do not do what Kim did the first year. Yeah, it is still in there. I am long in the history of my son's elementary school. Do not do this. I've been shamed.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can file that under no good deed. Like, you're the fucking room mom. You should get a trophy. There's no shaming.
Yeah, no, I got a popsicle stick.
So Jenna, you have 2 kids?
I do.
Okay. So I don't know if you were anything like me, but like when my first kid went into kindergarten, I was like, I almost got into a fist fight to trying to be room mom. And now that like my 3rd kid is going into 5th grade, I'm just like, oh, no eye contact. I hope they don't pick me. Like, did you find yourself change?
Oh, I did everything in kindergarten. And now, like, legitimately, I went to the auction this year. And so my youngest is in 6th grade. So, you know, there's like 70% of the school I don't know. I was like, I literally don't know anybody here. And I'm looking at all the whole auction committee is all like the kindergarten moms. Like, they're all so gung-ho and rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, I bought a ticket. And I'm going to drink too much, and I'll probably, you know, overpay for somebody's mountain cabin, but that's it. Like, I'm done. I'm so fucking done. It's not even funny.
That's actually exactly what I did. I
got
to this
assigned
auction.
Every year. I got rolled over into the room parent every year. Every year, the teachers, because I actually got better as I got.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and so that
was your first mistake.
I know, but you know what? I chose to do it because then I had a front seat in the classroom, and so I knew that my kid was going to be taken care of. I knew that you know there was maybe not special treatment, but there was extra treatment And it got me. I mean, I was totally strategic at some point. Because then I was like, I'm a control freak. And so I was in charge.
Yeah. No, I'm there. I mean, I'm total control freak, but I have this thing where I don't really like OPK, which is other people's kids.
Yeah.
So when you work in the classroom, there's a lot of OPK there and you're kind of stuck with them. And I find I'm not all that patient. So it's not really a good fit. I'm really good at like sending in paper towels and ink cartridges and that kind of stuff. I think that's really more my forte.
I made 2 kids cry in my my tenure as a room parent. And I will not repeat their names, but I made 2 kids cry. I'm like, oh my God, I made the kids cry. I guess I don't like other people.
6th grade?
I think one was in 4th grade.
What did you do?
Yeah,
he was eating the stuff, but we were making cookies for the Halloween something, and he was eating the sprinkles, and he was eating the materials that I needed for the cookies. And so I yelled I didn't yell at him. I strongly suggested that he not eat the materials, and he got upset. Aww. And he was a very sensitive kid. And then another girl, I don't remember how I made her cry, but I definitely, I don't remember, but I definitely was like, oh my gosh.
She's inappropriate and a bully.
Yeah.
So
wow, good to know.
Well, my parenting must be different. That's all.
So Jenna, what does summer look like in your house? Like, is it planned? Is it, do you have, every day mapped out with like nutritious food and things that will build their brains and bodies? What are you doing?
Yeah, enrichment activities. Yes. Yeah, we are. No. Like every other parenting thing, it used to be. My husband and I both worked out of the house, so those 11 and a half long, torturous weeks of mom on board. Mom, can we go to the beach? Mom, can we go to the mall? Mom, can I have a friend over? I was like, no. You get like the first 2 days of summer you can have off, and then here is your camp schedule. And I used to have these elaborate spreadsheets, like which camps they were doing with which friends and the carpooling and the times, and it was thousands of dollars. And these are just for like little day camps, just to get them out of my fucking hair for like 4 hours at a stretch. And the camps would be 8:30 to noon and 9 to 2. And, I was in the car all day long, but at least I would have a couple of hours in the middle where they were out of my hair. This is the first year. Well, we're doing a big trip because I'm using air quotes, graduating. I have one graduating from 6 and one graduating from 8. So we promised them years ago we would do this big European tour. So we're doing the big European tour. So we're gone for like 4 weeks.
Wow.
And when we get back, they have nothing on the books. My oldest one is like, I just want to make bank. I'm going to like babysit. I'm going to mother's helper. I'm going to do like odd jobs. She's all about, she just wants to make money. And the younger one will probably like play ukulele in her room because that's her thing. So they're fine. They don't bug me. I literally can be like, unless your hair is on fire or you're gushing blood from somewhere, do not come into my office. And they actually listen to that. So it's awesome.
Well, I mean, that's how my kid is. It's a lot different. Yeah. I mean, as far as, I think when they're younger, first of all, who can afford summer?
It's so ridiculous.
I look at projects that I work on and I'm like, I actually have to do the math to see if it's worth working because I'm like, summer camp times 3, and or getting childcare or whatever it is. I'm like, that it's not like it's an after school thing. It's a constant all day. We're talking 10 hours. So I'm like, I can't afford to take your job,
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly it. And well, the third kid is what killed you. If you stopped at 2, it was almost affordable, but now you're going to have to wait tables at night or something.
You have no idea. I'm going to sign up for Lyft and drive, I think, in my free time.
I'm going to be
I know lots of people doing that, and I'm not even kidding. I took an Uber home last night, and the guy was like, this is my 3rd job. I got 2 kids doing, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very thrilled. My son, old enough now, he just hangs out, can't be bothered with me. He just is on the YouTube or on the YouTube. He's on the Google and the YouTube and
he's
the
on the interweb
he's
doing
on the
things.
Interweb. Yeah.
But aren't you?
Yeah, but
is there no concern that there's like too much electronics? Because I know.
Listen, my kid, I mean, you know my son, he's very athletic. He loves sports. I mean, I'm not concerned about that because he loves to play basketball. And so the YouTube obsession that he has is just to kind of decompress the stuff that he's doing. I mean, he's always wanted to go to the gym and have a ball in his hand. And when he's on YouTube, he's watching basketball games and he's watching,
my oldest would never get off electronics if I didn't make him.
Yeah.
So what are your rules around that? I'm always curious what other people are doing. I have one that couldn't care less, and one that if I let her, she would probably not change her clothes and just sit in front of a screen.
What is she watching on there? That's my question.
She is obsessed with all of the DIY. First of all, she watches Aspen Ovard, all these cute little girly vloggers. But she also she sent me this video this week from this old man blogger, and it was about leg vein health. Oh. And I was like, thanks, honey. And she was like, no, but Mom, did you watch it? It's really interesting. There's a lot of things you can do to support your leg vein health. And I was like, I swear to God, I'll send you screenshots. And I was like, I don't have leg vein problems. My sister does.
Not yet.
She gets stripped, and then she goes, yet? I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Then I went and watched it again. I'm like, fuck, what does she know that I don't know? And it was at the end, it was kind of this whole big sales pitch for this supplement. And she's like, are you going to get it? She was so excited to share this with me. I actually do have some issues that I should probably be addressing. So I'm going to hold off on the leg vein. I think I got a little time off. She was so earnest though.
Yeah. My son, he goes and he has moments where he's obsessed with the video game. He has a PS4 and he connected with his friends at school. And so they play in basketball tournaments on the PS4. Cool. And so and in some ways, because my son is pretty shy, it's actually helped him socialize and, create relationships outside of school. They text each other, then they get on and they compete. And then when he's done with that, he goes right to YouTube and then he watches how to play the video game so that he can go back on later and kick his friend's ass while he plays the game. So he does that. But I try to monitor it. I know that, if he's been at school all day, he needs time to decompress, but he has to make sure that all of his chores are done. If I have to ask him more than once, he loses the PS4 or his computer for an hour. If I ask him twice, it's 2 days. We have a whole system. And I said, if I have to ask you more than 3 times to do your stuff, you lose your stuff indefinitely. So far we haven't because he's almost 14 and
I wish I had a whip sound effect right there.
But I'm frustrated, because I'll tell him, I'm like, you find an awful lot of time to research how to play your game and how to do all the things you do on the computer. I've asked you 4 times to empty the dishwasher. It drives me. He wanted a fidget spinner. He spent an awful lot of time finding a fidget spinner online, and how to ship it and get the coupon for it, But my God, taking the garbage cans in, I can't be bothered with that. So I had to find something. It frustrates me because I have a good kid, but those are his 2 loves, basketball and the video. So
it's the constant struggle over here because mine is my 14-year-old. She's about to go to high school, straight A+, all honors classes. Yeah. Her room is spotless. She does anything I ask her to do. And she legit, I was out with my girlfriends last night. It was my birthday this week and they took me out.
Happy she's
birthday. Texting me first she texted me the best. I think I put it on Facebook this morning. She's like, with the eye roll emoji, Dad won't let us take our phones to dinner. And his phone sucks. So you won't be hearing from us. Hope you're having fun. And then she gets home and she's like, can I watch one show? All my homework is done. I'm like, I'm out in a bar and my kid is asking me if she can watch TV. Yes, you can watch, you know what I mean? But she won't do it without asking me. Yeah. And sometimes I'll get, bitchy mom. And I'm like, you're in a screen too much. And she's like, I've done every single thing you asked me to do. I get 100% straight A's. We eat dinner as a family. That's kind of my thing. I don't really watch TV and, I exercise. She exercises every single day. She's on the volleyball team. What? I go, okay.
You know what? I would just give her every electronic known to man and just ask her not to change.
But you can definitely, I can tell when my son has lost his mind, after watching, the video, the gloss over, my son in his little office, he wants a mini fridge in there seriously, he's like, Mom, I want to create my own man cave. I'm like, what? He's, I want a mini fridge. I'm like, why do you need a mini fridge? He says, well, I don't have to go downstairs to get a soda. I'm like, oh, all 12 steps? Like, and he wants to buy his own mini fridge. And I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. So he wants a TV. He wants a TV for his room. You know, so he can have his PS4. I'm like, I can't do it. Like, dude, you're going to be out in the open, no doors closed, because I'll lose him to that stuff.
Can I get a porta potty in there and like a dumbwaiter where you can just send food up? I mean, he's creating a bunker. No.
I know. But my kid, too, he's a straight A student, you know, I mean, honest, like doesn't get himself
in your straight A students.
But that's where I have that moment of like, I want to give him that space to kind of be his own kid, but I also still have to be the parent that doesn't allow him to get lost in that world, because it can be so intoxicating, and you just don't, like, he literally will come out of it like his eyes look red, and he's, you know, he's scratching his face, and I'm like, dude, where'd you go? He's like, I don't know, like he's like drunk on YouTube.
When they start talking to you like you're a video game, like I remember at dinner one time, and my kid was like, Mom, pause. Yeah. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Replay what you said. Yeah. Replay that.
Yeah. Delete.
Oh God.
It's so funny. It's you know, that when they start talking like that, or actually, I think that one of them referred to another person as a character, one of the characters in my class or something. I was like, your classmate?
No. Oh my God.
Then you've had enough time with electronics.
So Jenna, do you have nervousness around your 6th grader going to junior high or your 8th grader going to high school? Do you have any fears around that, especially with mom of 2 girls?
I will honestly tell you, when my oldest, so they're 2 years apart. So when my oldest was leaving 6th grade, and I don't know why, but the world had given me 2 years of buckle up, junior high's a shit show, you know, and I'm thinking back to my own experience with junior high. It's like drugs and blowjobs. That's what happens. That starts happening in junior high. Like, and
really?
yeah, it does.
Kim's nodding as well.
I'm nodding. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can't even imagine. I mean, and so all of my friends with older kids are like, oh my God, there was this huge party in 7th grade and these girls were giving blowjobs and the 2 kids coded and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm not ready. And then I forgot like who my kid is. My older one is the one we call Dudley Do Right. She is like, she does not give a rat's ass about being popular. She has so much disdain for that whole group. And she's like, oh my God, Mom, they dress so inappropriately and they just need attention and they're going to peak and high. You know, I'm like, oh my God, you listened to everything I said. So once we got there, it was literally fine because I'm like, oh yeah, she's still her. She has more sense of self than most grownups I know. So that was fine. Her younger sister, I worry a little bit more about, only because she's just a tender heart and she wants everybody to like her. And like she auditioned this week for the big theater company that's huge at junior high, and callbacks were last night and they find out today. And like, I am sick to my stomach waiting to see if she's going to get the thing. It's just the thing. She wants to belong. She wants to be part of that group. And I swear to God, I'm going to be fetal all weekend if she doesn't get, I'll be worse than her because her little heart will break and it's hard.
It is hard.
You know,
yeah.
But I feel like, you know, you can spend so much time anticipating and worrying. But in reality, at least my experience with both of my kids has been they go when they're ready to go. Like mine are so ready. My 8th grader is so ready for high school. And she's still like, she's a super naive 14. Like we've just had to have some of the like bigger sex talks where she's like, oh, like people do it not to have babies. I'm like, yeah, like probably in the bathroom at your school. And I tell her everything. I tell her everything. She asks me questions. When did I do it? Not proud, but here's how that went down. Nobody ever talked to me about it. So she's saying she wants to be a virgin when she gets married. And I'm the one going, maybe not like, a virgin, but you by all means wait a while, but maybe not that long. I don't know, So that's
well,
fine.
you can cross that bridge when you get to it,
Exactly.
Let her believe
Exact
that
times
for now,
perhaps before you get married. Yeah.
So, wow. Speaking of marriage, though, so you did this TED Talk that millions of people have seen, What You Don't Know About Marriage. What, clearly there are a lot of things that people don't know about marriage, but what specifically do you feel like people don't know? Look at me going back into the archives and throwing you a little curveball.
Yeah. Well, so the idea behind that was I wrote the book about marriage first, and then I was asked to do this TED Talk, and I actually tried to talk them out of it. I was like, oh no, you don't want me. I'm like, no. They're like, no, we do.
Wait,
I was like, no,
wait. Let's talk about that for a second. Why were you trying to talk them out of it?
Because I still had that, like, I'm not an expert at anything. I'm not a PhD. I'm not, I haven't studied this. And they're like, well, you wrote a book about it. I'm like, well, I wrote a book about, honey, get your boner out of my ass crack. I don't think that makes me an expert per se, but I don't know if you think it does. And they're like, well, you've talked to all these people, and the E in TED stands for entertainment, and we think you're really entertaining. And I was like, okay, well, as long as you know that I'm not Jenny McCarthy and I'm not Jenna McCarthy, PhD, and and it was great. I didn't realize it was going to be seen as much as it was seen. And so in retrospect, I would have done a little bit more serious. Like I did the Jenna McCarthy. I did, it's sarcastic and snarky. And I have since become a keynote speaker, and I speak about marriage all the time. And now my speeches, they're still fun and they're still funny, but there's a lot more like real usable information. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was mocking the research. Like they spend all this time going like, oh my God, children who smile in childhood photographs have happier marriages. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Is that a real study?
No, it's a real study. I swear to God. And like, in my TED Talk, I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but like when I was a kid, you didn't take 50 pictures with your cell phone and keep the best one. Like your parents dressed you up and lined you up, and they're like, you better fucking smile because film is expensive and we're taking one shot. And then your eyes would be closed, but you'd have your fake smile on. So I don't know how that, means that you're going to be happily married. So I was kind of skewering the research, but what was the original question? I already forgot what you asked me. What have I learned?
What don't we know about marriage? But it's interesting. So you're saying that you went into it back then kind of in this like snarky, playful place, but now you take it a little more seriously?
Well, I do, because there really is, solid research in terms of like, they can predict, these like John Gottman the Gottman Institute is kind of the marriage research center in this country, the guy that's done the most studies, and he can sit down with a couple and predict with something like 96% accuracy whether or not, and they've done this over longitudinally, right? So they go back, whether or not this couple will divorce. And he looks at things like your ratio of positive to negative interactions and comments, whether or not people say I or we in a sentence, like little teeny tiny things that you might not be aware of. You know what I mean? So like the positive to negative, and when you think about it, like you start looking at your life and you're like, okay, so this morning, I bitched at my husband for snoring. Before he even opened his eyes, I was bitching. And then I was like, oh, guess you had a snack last night. Maybe next time could you rinse out the sink? Like we bitch. And then like you look at him and you think, hey, he looks pretty hot in those jeans. But that one you don't say out loud. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. So you start, when you're aware of this information, like I try really hard to be like, oh, you look hot in those jeans, because it's really important that you're not just constantly beating down, insulting, complaining. And, I think that like women, we have this thing, and not to totally, gender stereotype, but I've seen it over and over and over again. Like we're like, well, I'm just trying to communicate, honey. I'm just like, I don't want to swallow my feelings. I'm only telling you that it bothers me that you don't close the drawer this whole way, or that you leave your, whiskers shrapnel in the sink, because if you know that it bothers me, then you won't do it, and see how happy we'll be. And he's over there going, thank you for the running fucking ticker tape of the many ways I make you miserable. Thank you. Well, I didn't even know about that one. This is such good information. Like maybe sometimes we could just shut up.
Right.
Is the thing. Or at least, if you wake up every single day and say consciously, for every even like tiny bit negative, like if you have to put every comment on a spectrum of 1 to 10, and every 5 or lower you have to call it negative, even like, oh, I thought you were going to be home earlier, that would be a negative, right?
You're
going to have to say five positive things, And they have to be we statements like, aren't we lucky that we live in this beautiful house that I was just bitching about that I wanted to paint our bedroom? You know what I mean? Like now you got to come up with 5 more. You become really aware of it.
Well, but also don't the negative statements actually, like, they're not 1-to-1 there. So like if you say something nice to somebody or if you say something negative to somebody, you have to kind of say like 3 positives.
No, it's 5.
Oh, it's 5
because
5-to-1 is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's so profound. We hear it louder.
That's what you were saying.
Oh yeah. So like think about it. If you know, on your, if you've ever had like one nasty comment on Facebook or like I'll get one bad review of one of my books. And again, sucking my thumb in bed, rocking, why did I choose this? And it's like, cause one asshole was like too profane. Really? I put a bad word right in the title. You should have known, not my fault. Sorry, I'm not for everybody. But that one star, you know, it takes way more than 5-star reviews to undo a 1-star, you know? So yeah, it's really profound. And we don't think about it. You know, we're like, oh, sorry, like you're my spouse. You pissed me off and I'm going to tell you about it. But once you know what that really does to your marriage, and it can literally predict divorce.
Does your husband use that 5-to-1 ratio also?
Yeah, because I told him about it. Yeah, no, he's really good. My husband's so much nicer than I am. God damn, he is like legit. Like, I mean, you're so beautiful. You're so cute. You're such a great mom. You're so, like, we're so lucky to have you. I'm like, oh, I gotta be better. He's so good. I mean, he drives me batshit crazy, but he's so good at that stuff.
Where do you think it comes from? I mean, I in the past found myself nagging a little bit more than a lot more than I do now, because I realized that like I would get frustrated every time he didn't do something the way I do it. And then I realized if I was married to somebody who did it the way I did it, I would die.
Yeah.
Like I could barely stand myself sometimes, never mind like another person like me. So, you know, where does it stem from for you?
It's really the same thing. Like the reason I married him is because he was really the first person that ever called me out on my shit. Like legitimately, had you asked me before I met him, you know, what had gone wrong in every previous relationship, I would have said, you know, it was all their fault. It was always somebody else's fault. It was never my fault. Like I did everything and I tried. And then, you know, I met him and he would kind of like, he wouldn't back down when I was being a bitch. Like, you know, my fighting style, it's gotten better, but my fighting style, because it was what I knew growing up, was whoever slammed the door the hardest and the loudest won. And, you know, you got to get the last word in and it's got to be the lowest dig you can possibly get. And then you get in your car and drive away. I'm not kidding. That's how we fought. And like, I would do that and he'd be like, get your fucking ass back here. Like, no. I'm like, but that was so good. I can't go any lower than that. And he's like, you sit down and we're going to talk about this. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. Like, I was just going to go away and like stew for 4 days. I mean, that's so not productive. So he really is. He's a good guy. I got really lucky, as my family tells me all the time. Like, you're so lucky. I'm like, because I'm such an asshole. Like, I'm kind of good. I have a couple redeeming qualities. No, but you're really lucky, Jenna. Okay.
Yeah, but it sounds like you were in a space to receive that, you know, and the people before him weren't the people that you had that openness to. I mean,
yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I know that in relationships I've had, I'm a different person with different people because they bring out quality. I mean, yeah. So
obviously, we're very different. Like my husband and I we call ourselves green acres. Like we're super, super, super different. He is conservative. He is, you know, quiet. He's very, humble and thoughtful, and he downplays everything. And I'm an exaggerator, and I'm big, and I'm loud, and you know, I wear leopard print hats. And he's like, "Oh God, honey, maybe not the leopard print. Sorry."
Does he try to tame you a little bit?
Not even a little bit. No. In fact, like if he has to go to work, he's like, "Oh my God, I need you. Please come with me, please." I mean, please, God, please. No, he's awesome. He's so supportive. I mean, the only time. There was only ever when I was, so this marriage book, which really does have like get your boner out of my ass crack in it. We're in the car. I was on the Today Show to talk about it, and we're in the cab or in the car service, whatever. And his sister texts me and says, break a leg. We're with dad watching you. And I leaned over to show my husband. I'm like, oh my God, look at how cute they are. All your sisters are with, your dad. And his face turned white. He's like, oh my God, my dad's going to read this book. Like, fuck. Like, are you embarrassed of me? Like, this is good information to have, a year ago when I was out selling it. He's like, no, it's good. It's good. It's fine. It's good. Yeah, we're good. It's okay.
Did he really read it?
I don't know. His family is, he's like right off the boat from Portugal, his dad, and he's just stoic, old school European, he doesn't raise his voice, very quiet, and my family was the loud, fuck you, slam the door. I've never heard his dad swear. Like they're very, very mature, quiet people. They're the anti-me. So I don't know. If he read it in secret and never mentioned it to me. That's for sure.
Have you come across people who have read your book and questioned you after that as far as what was in it? Because your books can be kind of racy.
Yeah, they're a little racy. No, I have. My husband has an ex here in town who we're all very friendly with, and the ex's mom has become a friend. And she buys all my books. She was on the board of this author festival, and she recommended me to be one of the keynotes. Like, she's adorable. She loves my family. But I saw her in the grocery store once, and she's like, I just read Pretty Much Screwed. And like, she looked around and she was fanning herself like, oh dear. I was like, okay, haha. It was Pretty Much Screwed. I mean, kind of knew that there was going to be a little race in that.
Right.
And I had once when one of my daughters, she was going into second grade, and there was the teacher that it was very conservative teacher. Most of the teachers at our elementary school were like young, and we became friends with them. But this one was a little bit older, and we sat down for the parent teacher conferences. And she said, so I just to get any possible awkwardness out of the way, I did read your book. And I'm like, okay, so boner and ass crack. Like, please don't hold any of that against my child, because she doesn't talk like that, and she's a really good kid. La la la. But no, I mean, go ahead.
Do the kids understand what you do? Like, what do they think about your professional life?
Okay, so Dudley Do-Right has asked me a million times in my life when she can read my books. That's the older one. And I've told her when you're 18. I said, they're for grown-ups when you're 18. And they're all over my house. I mean, they're on bookshelves. I have stacks of them in my office. She said to me one day, probably 6 months ago, she's like, Mom, if I still have all straight A's and I'm like, I have my stuff together, like, can I maybe read them when I'm 17?
It's so funny because she could be reading them right now.
I would have read them all. I mean, I was the kid that, like, the minute my parents were out the door, I would take that Joy of Sex out from the drawer next to the bed and like read the whole thing cover to cover. My dad's Playboy, like I knew where everything was. I was into all that stuff. Like she would never go into my drawer without asking. Like it's almost crazy.
Do you wish that she was a little part of it? Like my son was so like never lies, and he still doesn't. But I'm like, just come on, you could have totally lied to me about that. Like just a little bit or no?
Oh. I mean, my first instinct was, hell no, this is so much easier. No, I love who she is. And because I would be worried if she was like, like a yes ma'am meek about it. Like she had this story. This is just an example of her. She's the kid that sits in the front of the classroom and she wants to be called on. And like everybody under their breath is like, teacher's pet, she's like, yeah. And I'm getting straight A's. Fuck you. Like, I love this. So she was picked to be the TA in her PE class. And so one of the things she had to do was like, okay, I'm counting laps. And there's this kid in her class. So she comes home from school like 2 weeks in. She's the TA. And she's like telling me she's like, yeah, there's this boy in my class. He hates me. He calls me an F and B. And I'm like, really? Like 2 weeks into junior high. Wow. Like nobody's ever called her anything at her sweet little elementary school. And I was like, okay, do you worry about your safety? Is he like a big kid? She's like, oh, he's like, what's he going to do to me, Mom? No, I'm good. I said, what do you say when he calls you an F and B? She's like, I say, that's nice. Go run 2 more laps. So I'm like, okay, well, good for you. So we go this whole school year. And then she's talking about, incidentally, this huge party the most popular kid in the class had. And I said, who's the most popular kid in the class? She's like, the guy that calls me the F and B. I'm like, oh my God. And she doesn't care. Like, she really doesn't care that the most popular boy in the class calls her an F and B, and probably tells everybody else. I'm like, she's fine. She's fine. Like that's enough edge for me. For her, she's going to be fine in this life. I don't need her to be deviant. I get annoyed. Like, we'll try to take like a long weekend. I'm like, let's just skip school on Friday because we have half day Thursday. She's like, no, I can't miss Latin. Like, you can miss Latin.
My son doesn't like to miss school either. He doesn't like to be gone. I know. I'm like, come on.
No, she had her. And when I say, I'm like, you have an A+ in Latin. Like, you're fine, honey. She's like, I know, but I don't want my teacher to think I don't take it seriously. I'm going to take Latin in high school, and she's my same teacher. So I need her to know that I'm serious about it.
Does she know how to kind of let loose a little bit? As far as, I mean, because my daughter is like, she comes home from school, she does her homework, she's like all stressed out over a state testing, and like the funny thing is, like, I care a lot about grades and schoolwork, but I'm with her, I find myself going like, don't worry about that, you know what I mean? Like, because
all the time
she has so much stress. I'm like, I know that schools care about scores, but I don't. I'm like, your score on a state test is not going to change your life. So you need to just like go get a good night's sleep, eat a good breakfast, and then, just do your best. And like, if you don't finish, you don't finish. Like, the world is not going to end. And I have to constantly talk her down. Meanwhile, on the other side with my sons, I'm like, come on, dude, So it's funny though, because like my daughter though knows how to have a good time. Like, she is adventurous, and she, so at least I feel like she's serious in appropriate ways. And because I worry about her getting so wrapped up in always doing, always having to be perfect.
Responsible. I was always that responsible kid.
You were?
I mean, I was, everybody's family wanted me to be around their kids so it would rub off on them. I was the Dudley Do-Right. I was the same way. And I was bored. Like, when I got to college, I'm like, I've never done anything outside of the rules.
Worry about that.
Yeah.
I worry about that.
Yeah. I mean, it served me well at the time it needed to, but as I got a little older and I went out into the world outside my little bubble, I was like, oh, what's out here? This is interesting. And I never really 100% let loose. I was still pretty much a prude all the way up till my now. But I mean, that's part of my makeup. Like, my core is that really responsible, prudish.
Yeah.
I'm making a face and it's not bad, but I wish that I would have been a little bit more edgy, a little bit looking back, just a little. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have to have that wish. I'm lucky to be alive. I'll call that lucky to be alive. But I have a really good friend whose daughter's just finishing up her 10th grade year and has been a Dudley Do-Right her whole life. And she's just started wanting to go to the parties where there's drinking. And she's like, when I said to her, is there going to be drinking at this party? The kid looked at the mom and she's like, it's a party. Like, yeah, there's drinking. And my friend, the mom, was like, well, I'd rather her do this now. I'd rather her, kind of screw up if she's going to drink too much, when I still drop her off and pick her up from parties, and she can come home and talk to me about the stupid things that, kids are doing. Like, there was another friend when we were having this conversation. She's like, yeah, I was the really, really, really good kid in high school. I didn't do anything. And 1 month into college, I was the one getting my stomach pumped in the ER because, I was like a big rattlesnake. I didn't know how to meet or anything,
Yeah, it was, I hit a certain age where all of my innocence, I was like trying to make up for lost time. And I had more than one occasion.
Whore. Yeah.
No, that's not what I was saying.
Oh, sorry.
Please, I was over 18 when that happened for the first time. I was good.
Well, if you're under 18 and it happened, it wouldn't make you bad.
Thank you.
Me. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I hit 18 and I kind of went crazy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think about that because when my kids were younger, it'd be like, oh no, you don't drink until you're 21. You just don't drink, and I've even seen like other moms who have kids who are older and feel the same way, and then watch them kind of change as the kid got a little bit older. it's funny what you think that you will do.
Right.
And then recently there was a car accident near our, a couple miles from our house, and it was a drunk driver who died. And so we had a full on, my kids are only 10, 11, and 12. Well, my oldest will be 13 tomorrow. But, I had this conversation with them where like, listen, there's going to be drinking like it'll happen sooner than you think. And you'll be at a party and this will be happening. And I'm like, we had like full on conversations about not only them not drinking and driving, but like, do not get into a car. And this day and age with Uber and Lyft and whatever, like, just call a car. It's not that much money, but I said, you'll never be in trouble, like as much trouble if you just call me than if, something else happens.
Well, it's not a secret that my everyday job is to work with teenagers. And what I notice happens with our kids is that when they don't wake up every day wanting to make bad choices. They're not being told what not to do. And so I find that our kids, when they're told, oh, you can't do this until this age, you can't do that. The truth is they probably do. And so you have to educate them on the ramifications and the choices and the repercussions of their decisions, because that's when they make better ones. And sometimes they make poor ones because they still can't figure it out. But I remember last year my son was like, I am never going to smoke pot. And I'm like, you probably are going to smoke pot.
Well, so now that it's legal, he probably will.
Yeah, but before it was legal. But I said you probably are. So let's talk about what that looks like and when it would be safe. And not that I want him to, but if you're in a situation where it's there, these are the things that could happen. And so, and that's how my dad raised me. And maybe that was why I was still so prudish and responsible, because he talked to me about everything. I'm like, it's not worth the risk. It's not worth. Like whatever he described to me didn't excite me, but telling me I can't and telling me it's bad, like I was like, ooh, that's exciting. It's just, don't put your hand in the on the hot water and then you go.
Right.
It's that. So I don't know. I appreciate even with kids, don't have sex until you're married. Like, I don't know. You're probably gonna.
Yeah. Well, my daughter asks me a lot about sex and like, and we just actually had the conversation because she didn't understand how you could have a baby if you weren't married. And I was like, well, it just takes the mother and the father. Like they don't have to be married,
Yeah.
And so we just kind of started, and she's only 10, but we just started getting into the topic that, people who are in love, we're still sticking with that,
Yeah.
Not
drunk in a bar, but in love. There's a difference.
And that it's not always marriage and blah, blah, blah. And, but it's an adult decision. And so we'll make that decision closer to being an adult, And
my favorite line is, you just can't undo it. You can't take it back. You can't decide, once you make that decision, it is forever. That is your life. That is your story. So don't make that decision lightly. Don't give it away. That's for you to decide when you're ready to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
But I think we just solved it all.
I know.
We just solved. Wow. I feel like I need to find my cape.
Parenting and marriage and all of it. So
we got this.
Yeah. So Jenna, what's next for you?
Let me see. I just finished my next 2 novels. One of them is an adult novel. That one's called The Thing About Grace. And that's about a woman whose husband just announces one day out of the blue that he's moving to Thailand without her.
Wow.
And kind of how she picks up those pieces. But it's funny and, fun, I think. And then I finished a middle grade novel that is woefully unlike anything I've ever written, because I didn't think it was funny, but one of my editor friends who read it was like, oh my God, like your humor still, shines through, but it's serious. It's about bullying. And I've seen a lot of that this year in my kids' classes. Thankfully, neither one of them, being the target, but some of their friends. And just the girl bullying stuff is off the charts. It's off the charts. And it makes my blood boil like nothing else, because, my personal theory is there are no bad kids. There are only bad parents. And who are these fucking parents that are raising kids that are verbally, physically, emotionally cruel for sport? Like, I don't get it. And so I had to write this book, and it is one of my favorite things I've ever written, although it was hard to write. And my 14-year-old is one of my editors, And she just finished, I finished it like a week and a half ago. She just finished it last night. I printed out and she wrote all over it, hashtag #1 New York Times bestselling author. OMG, this is the best book ever. Babe, say what? How do you do this? So good. I'm just flipping through it, looking at her comments.
Oh,
I know. So I don't know. I feel like it'll be funny if this is the one that kind of, you know, puts me on the map in a bigger way, because it really isn't, you know, snarky and profane, but I think it's important.
Yeah, awesome. When should we expect both of those?
It'll take at least a year, probably, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know, because I really do. I love them both.
We'll have you back on for sure then.
Oh, and I promise you, I mean, literally, if I have to crawl there on my hands and knees, I will be sitting right between the two of you.
yeah.
Have my word.
Excellent.
And just as a PS, I love your Instagram and my clean closet for, I don't know, the hashtag clean, I don't know, what is it? Clean closet years.
1 year to a clean closet.
Hilarious. Yeah.
So,
I am having a lot of fun ridding myself of this hideous atrocities.
So
Well,
yeah,
and when
one outfit a day you're just getting rid of from your closet and
Yep.
Yeah, but she's posting a picture
Documenting.
and it's hilarious. I'm like, I still have that.
That makes me feel better
Yeah.
because
I don't
you
have
know,
the shoes you just posted though. Those weird looking things that you just posted.
my French sandals. Yeah, I got them
Yeah.
in Paris. They were
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah,
They were
your-
fancy.
Your toes look good, but the shoes not so much. Yeah.
My feet are so ugly, but whatever. Yeah. No, I committed to this year of daily blogging, and then I was like, what the hell am I going to blog about? Like, how am I going to come up with something to say every day? And then I was in my closet going, why can I never fucking find one thing to wear when I have 8,000? I mean, really do. I mean, I probably have 800 things in there. And not because, because I never throw anything away ever, as you will see if you're following this blog. So I'm on day 67, and you can't even, like, everybody's like, oh, is your closet all empty? I'm like, you cannot tell. You cannot tell. You don't. It's not even a dent yet.
Wow. Wow. So and you know that I have bad style when like you're like, oh my gosh, look at this. I'm like, oh, I would take that.
I have sent a few items to people. People are like, I love that dress. I'm like, give
It's
me your address.
vintage. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
vintage. Uh-huh.
Exactly. Well, so everyone can find you at JennaMcCarthy.com. And are you Jenna McCarthy on all your social media channels as well?
I'm usually Jenna Writes. Just Jenna Writes or
like
Jenna McCarthy.
WRITES.
WRITES. Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Awesome. Well, we'll put all of that in our show notes as well. Jenna, thank you so much for joining us.
And congrats
I
to your
love
daughter
that.
on her Beatles song, summer, spring,
I know
whatever
you'll have
extravaganza.
to post that so we can
Yeah.
all.
As we were sitting here, 2 people texted it to me like, oh, Jenna's not here. Bad mom. Here you go. I'll do that for you. Don't feel guilty for not being here.
Yeah, but when you're on that New York Times bestseller list,
They'll be- yeah,
it'll
we'll be
all be
laughing
worth
then.
it.
Mhm.
That's right.
And then you'll be
Yeah.
able to pay for the therapy.
Thanks, Jenna.
God willing. Love you guys.
Love
Love
you.
you too. Thanks.
Bye, Jenna.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh, she's so much fun. Hey, before we go, I just want to do a quick
We're going to have
shout-out.
to do a hashtag NSW for that podcast.
Oh, I know. Not
right?
suitable for work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to click the little box on iTunes that says, like, ooh, we're bad.
Yeah.
We're bad girls.
We're
Bad
bad.
girls.
Yeah.
Bad, yeah. Bad girls. Oh, my gosh. I'm doing
Wow,
it again.
you just did that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a
Little Donna
good.
Summer.
That was a
Hey,
good show. We
so
love having Jenna.
we
what?
love having Jenna, but I want to do a quick little shout out to
Oh,
our
yeah.
sponsor
I
for
forget. I
today.
forgot. Sorry.
Hey, I never play that little Andrew Bowen thing. Ready?
Hey, it's a message from our BROADScast sponsor, so listen up. This is why we're able to do the show.
Hey, so our sponsor today is Ebates again.
Ebates.
We love Ebates. I love Ebates. I just got another check the other day.
Oh, you
for
did?
$14.94.
Wow.
Yes.
Dinner's on you.
Because I told you go to ebates.com, you sign up, and then you just go shop wherever else you're going to shop.
Yeah, it's super easy. I
Online.
mean, it's the easiest thing if you do a lot of online shopping, like both Jackie and I do. So just go through eBay. All the normal stores are on there.
All
and like
of them.
I've said before,
And even some of the
on the what?
not normal stores.
Are they not normal?
No, you said all the normal stores.
Yeah, well, all the normal stores that you normally shop at.
Yes.
So yeah, and it's super easy. And then like one day, it's like mailbox money. It just like
Totally.
appears.
Totally. And then
Yeah.
you're like, day night.
Yeah, and then you go put it back in and spend it again.
Yeah. And then if you tell your friends about
recycling.
it and they sign up, you also can get some serious bank. That way.
Like referral stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, referrals and stuff.
We like
So,
referrals.
yeah, we love a referral. So head on over to broadscast.com/ebates and check it out. Seriously.
And then while you're also at our website, you can see all the other offers and special stuff that we have from our sponsors, because there's always something brewing on our page. So please go over there and check it out.
That's broadscast.com/special offers. Special offers. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. It's been a joy. And, please subscribe over there on iTunes. Head on over to our Broad Squad group.
Oh, yeah, because we have some cool stuff coming up to our BROADScast squad. Our Broad Squad. So in order to learn about it, you got to go be a part of it.
Yeah,
see what I did there? I will learn about it, be a part of it.
Yes, but I will say that one of the things coming up is our live Broad Squad happy hour.
Well, you just
I know.
told it. Then what's
I'm teasing it.
Oh,
they have to go over to the group to find more.
I know. Well, I was going to send them over to the group so we could, Jeez, Jackie.
Help me, people. Help me.
Peace out, people.
Talk to you next time.
You are listening to BROADScast. For more from the Broads, head to BROADScast.com.